This week on ANN, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency donates more than 1 million masks to Loma Linda University Health in an effort to help in the COVID-19 response efforts.
Adventists in Mexico are still helping their community almost a year after the pandemic impacted their region.
And ADRA is assistant after earthquakes in Indonesia.
These stories and more coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us this week.
First in the news, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, or ADRA, has donated 1.6 million medical-grade masks to Loma Linda University Health in the U.S. state of California.
The donation is an effort to supply the hospital's continued battle against COVID-19. Loma Linda University Health, or LLHU, plans to use ADRA's donation to protect frontline workers during COVID-19 vaccine operations.
California state officials report the state remains among the highest U.S. regions for coronavirus, with more than 3 million confirmed positive cases and 21,400 hospitalizations since the beginning of the year. These numbers are likely to change as more cases are reported.
Loma Linda University Health remains steadfast in preparing for the increasing number of COVID-19 patients.
The 3-ply mask stockpile will be used at the COVID-19 vaccine clinic soon to open on the campus of Loma Linda University. LLUH also intends to utilize the protective supplies at international mission hospital sites around the world.
President of ADRA, Michael Kruger, says, ADRA is committed to protecting healthcare workers during the crisis. We will continue to support medical facilities like Loma Linda University Health and other hospitals around the world to meet the urgent demand of essential medical supplies in this ongoing pandemic. We are thankful to ADRA's donors and collaboration partners like Lyft Nonprofit Logistics, Partnership for Humanity, and Global Specialty Services who help us serve vulnerable communities in the U.S. and globally.
After the COVID-19 pandemic hit, members of the Vértice Seventh-day Adventist Church in Monterrey, Mexico, looked for ways to connect with and minister to their community. Nearly a year later, church leaders and members continued to provide outreach activities. The first phase of the project began with distributing 10 food baskets to families affected by the coronavirus pandemic, which drew more attention to the needs of the community. In the months that followed, the food distribution grew to 80 families, thanks to the contributions and donations of the church members. Members and friends from outside the church collaborated with contributions, purchasing materials, and assembling the school kits and food packages. The Padrinos project was divided into 4 phases, which included provide school supplies to 60 boys and girls in the community, meet the community to learn and connect more with the residents and find out specific family needs, hold bi-monthly meetings to involve parents and their children with various activities to help establish emotional ties, and establish friendly relationships with the residents and their children to improve their lifestyle and their future. The next part of the Padrinos project will focus on providing for the more specific health needs of the residents, holding health brigades, and teaching values to children, as well as additional recreational activities.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, or ADRA, is working after 3 earthquakes rocked the West Sulawesi region of Indonesia from January 14 to 16, measuring at 5.9, 6.2, and 5.0 magnitudes on the Richter scale. The districts of Mamaju, Majini, and Poliwa Mandar were impacted and the most, with reportedly 932 people wounded and 84 fatalities. The earthquakes caused landslides, blocking roads in some areas and cutting off bridges. Additionally, more than 1,100 houses were flattened, including the governor's home. ADRA has provided shelter kits to approximately 2,000 people. Shelter kits include heavy-duty tarps used to create walls and roofs, towelettes, sheets, and bedding items. The team in Indonesia is also collecting data on additional pressing needs of survivors. Country Director of ADRA Indonesia, Clinton Rappel, said, "We are also working with Adventist churches in Mamaju districts and an Adventist youth organization called Youth Emergency Services, or YES, to provide aid to church members with shelter, food items, hygiene kits, and medicine. Our work is just beginning once a natural disaster occurs, and no matter the crisis, we keep going because the need is great. Indonesia is prone to earthquakes because it's located on the Ring of Fire, an arc of volcanoes and fault lines in the basin off the Pacific Ocean. A majority of the world's earthquakes occur in this region.
Steve Accord, Director of Nutrition Services at Advent Health Shawnee Mission, is passionate about using sustainable resources in his work.
He's implemented a composting program and on-site herb garden at the hospital located in the U.S. state of Kansas. Here's the story from Advent Health.
What's unique about this hospital, for years, we have tried to go above and beyond. Even before I got here, we had compostable products. If you have a plate, that's compostable. The utensils that we use are compostable. The napkin, the straw. It took us about a year to gradually get the products we needed so that it was 100% compostable, which was great because that's better for the environment, but it was still going to a landfill. 2 years ago, we had an idea, and we were able to team up with Missouri Organic, an air commercial facility, and they take compostable products and food waste and turn that into garden soil. So we started a garden here in a former smoker's lounge. We cleaned it up, and we said, well, let's start by planting some things that we could use in our harvest kitchen, in our retail. And the beginnings of our garden is garden soil that was donated by Missouri Organic. And so this soil that at one time was a cup or a plate or a napkin or a straw, now we're harvesting peppers and other herbs from that soil. So something that maybe in the past would have just gone and rotted in a landfill is now put to good use. It's a full circle of life. Earth was important to God, and it's a responsibility, and it is the right thing to do as far as an organization to be a good partner with our community, and we have. Being creative and finding solutions to problems. I want to live that part of feeling whole and being whole, is being creative and in the type of food that we provide for our patients, our staff, and that's one way that we're helping others feel good and to get better.
Just because General Conference session had to be delayed until June 2022 because of the COVID pandemic doesn't mean we can't find a way to meet.
Coming up, we sit down with Associate Treasurer Tim Ackerman to talk about the Digital Global Camp Meeting.
When I first felt called to be a minister, I didn't want to be a typical pastor with a suit and a tie. One of the things I appreciated most about Christ was his ability to defy convention. Once, when I moved away from a place where I was pastoring, one of my friends said, "We're going to miss you. You're so unusual." I take that as a compliment. I'm someone who likes a challenge. I love to test my limits. I've been running for more than 35 years, most days of the week. I love to run, especially in nature. It's time alone with God where I can recharge. I run first thing in the morning, so I can prepare emotionally and spiritually for whatever I might experience that day. I find my greatest fulfillment in relating to people who aren't Adventist or even Christian. We have to meet people where they are. That's what Jesus did, and it's still our responsibility today. I have friends who are Christians and atheists, gay and straight, old and young, of all races and ethnicities. I'm a biker, a runner, and a pastor. I'm extremely blessed. My name is Stephen Chavez, and this is my whole life.
Welcome back.
On January 12, Seventh-day Adventist leaders voted to delay the 2020 General Conference session for a second time due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
After the first delay, leaders voted to hold a smaller session with a shorter time frame, no special guests, and eliminating the well-loved exhibit hall.
During the past months, Adventist leaders have been working on a digital exhibit hall that would allow ministries to share information and special programs during online during the general conference session.
After the second delay, many people wondered what would happen now to the digital exhibit hall. It's being turned into a global camp meeting.
We sat down with Associate Treasurer of Adventist Church, Tim Ackerman, to talk more about this exciting development.
So, Tim, thank you so much for joining us here on ANN. We're so happy to have you.
Jennifer, it's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Tim, when GC's session was postponed back last year in March after COVID-19, one of the things that the world seemed to be most upset about was that the exhibit hall was not going to be available anymore. That was one of the decisions that they made, was that we couldn't have the exhibit hall. But you guys decided that you still had something in mind for people. And I'm just wondering, how was the first idea of a digital exhibit hall? How did that first come to mind?
Sure. It was actually Elder Wilson who kind of blurted out. He said, "Oh, well, maybe we'll have something online instead." And I think he mentioned that during one of our executive committee or meetings like that. And so we actually had a platform that we were looking at for events and things like that, a connection platform for Adventists. And part of that was going to be a potential exhibit or not like an exhibition, seminar type of a platform. So we thought, well, we've got this platform that's available and we're thinking about building it. So why not utilize that and have a small exhibition hall for those who were interested in having a virtual event.
That's so cool. Now that we have delayed general conference session again to June of 2022, there was a decision made that this will be converted into a giant global camp meeting.
Right.
First, I'm going to ask you, do you know, well, of course you know, what are the dates of the global camp meeting?
Sure. It's going to be May 19th through the 22nd. The 22nd is a Sunday, but really the big finale is going to be on the Sabbath. We're looking forward to having a wonderful, spiritually uplifting Sabbath program. Sunday, we'll still have the exhibits open and people can do some last-minute business there, networking. And then Wednesday through Friday, we're going to have amazing speakers and meetings, and looking really forward to all of the things that are happening at the camp meeting.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. What kind of booths will be available for people? And maybe even in that, what are you most excited about seeing?
I'm really, whenever I think about conferences or meetings like that, I'm always excited about the speakers, to hear the experts and sort of get to listen in on them. And we're really hoping to have a very unique situation where we can gather like a roundtable discussion or a small group discussion, get some of the best and brightest that Seventh-day Adventists have to offer. And we get to sort of listen in on their conversations. I think that would be very exciting.
That's awesome. Now, this is a global event,
Yes.
This camp meeting. Can you tell me a little bit about how we are planning on incorporating all 13 divisions, the 2 attached unions, the entire world into this camp meeting?
Sure. So we want to make sure that it's accessible to people in every time zone and also in various languages. And so we've broken up the programming into 3 major time zones. One is going to be Asia Pacific, and then we move across to Euro-Africa region, and then the Americas region. So the programs will be centered around those main time zones, so that people in Asia don't have to wake up at 2:00 in the morning to watch something that's going on in the United States. We'll have programming that's specifically for them, and also in languages that they will be able to access as well.
That's so exciting. So content from the church's experts on theology and health and all sorts of things in time zones where everybody can watch. This is so it's almost more people can come to this exhibit hall than has been able to participate before.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And we're really looking forward to engaging with our members and our frontline staff, our pastors, our teachers, our Bible workers. We want to encourage them and engage with them. And we really want to promote the General Conference strategic initiative of the I Will Go theme, and really encourage people to get involved in the mission of the church to spread the gospel of Jesus around the world and get personally involved. That's going to be tremendously exciting.
Amen. So I just want to repeat the dates: May 19 through May 22.
That's correct. Yeah.
And the big event will be on Sabbath. Now, you guys are still working on the exact domain name for the website, but people can check back with us.
Yeah.
And we will get a domain name where they can join as soon as possible for them.
Absolutely. Yes.
Great. Well, Tim, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything else you would like to say about the new camp meeting? Anything else that you're excited about sharing?
Well, we're still in the stages of building it, and we're really looking forward to getting participation from every corner of the world. Again, getting the best and brightest from all walks of life, every culture, every language, young and old, men and women. We want to make sure that we've got a broad inclusion from both the participants, presenter side, as well as the audience side. So we're really looking forward to that. Looking forward to working with the communications department, yourself and Sam and team to share this and spread this word out around the world. And again, thank you for this time on ANN. We'll get this word out to everybody.
Yeah, I have to say, ever since that you started talking about this global camp meeting, I've been really excited about it. So I can't wait to see the content and how it brings everyone together. I think it's such a cool idea. So thank you so much for heading up this digital global camp meeting.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Coming up, David Trim is here with This Week in Adventist History.
But up next, the Adventist Church's strategic plan is for everyone. Adventist Mission has more.
Hi, VL. How are you? Are you okay?
Dear VL, I can't even remember how long we've been staying at home now because of this virus. For now, it's just nice to hear your voice and see your face. Nothing beats playing outside in the dirt though. Which reminds me,
Are your hands clean? Yes!
Mommy and Daddy says not a lot of kids get COVID-19, but it's always nice to be extra safe.
We should wash our hands before picking our nose.
Washing our hands protects us, but it also keeps us from spreading the virus in case we touch something dirty.
Let's always be clean and safe, okay?
Love, Joey.
We may look, pray, read, think, worship, sing, and share differently, but we all look forward to the Sabbath. And we all look forward to the future when Jesus will come again. With this message in mind, we arrived at a core component for a new identity system, the creation grid, a simple 7-column structure for layout. The grid is a reference both to the prophetic timeline as well as to the creation week that culminated in the seventh-day Sabbath. Regardless of what or where you are designing, you can always find information to help you communicate that we are all Seventh-day Adventists.
Welcome back.
The Adventist Church's strategic plan, I Will Go, is a way for everyone to take part in sharing Christ with their community.
But how can one do that? And what does it mean when we answer God's call to go?
Adventist Mission has more.
So I've heard the church talk about this plan called I Will Go. It's got my attention, but what is it?
I Will Go is the brand new strategic plan for the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The phrase is rooted in key passages like Isaiah 6, when Isaiah responded to God's call by saying, "Here am I, send me." And Matthew 28, when Jesus said, "Therefore go and make disciples." Now it's our turn. The strategic plan is part of our response. It will do 2 things. 1, equip you with what you need to embrace your call to mission. And 2, provide you with indicators to track your progress as you respond, "Okay, Jesus, I Will Go.
I think I'm following, but what is that mission?
I'm glad you asked. Our mission as Adventists is to make disciples of Jesus Christ who live as his loving witnesses and proclaim to all people the everlasting gospel of the three angels' messages in preparation for his soon return. It is a big task, but no one has to do it alone. We have a massive support system of more than 21 million members in over 160,000 congregations throughout the world.
Phew, that's a lot of members. Have we made progress?
With that many, how could we not? But we're always open to improvement. I Will Go builds on the success of our previous strategic plan called Reach the World, where we set out to,
let me guess, reach the world?
What gave it away? Following Reach the World, the church evaluated the effectiveness of our different initiatives worldwide to gain valuable insights for the future. Basically, after years of work and research, we developed that evaluation system and transformed it into a strategy that will run from 2020 to 2025, which we're calling I Will Go.
Okay, evaluation. Got it. What happens with those insights? Adventist church leaders create a plan and then what? Just tell the world what to do?
Not at all. All that research will only be worthwhile if Adventists all around the world engage, collaborate, and innovate right where they are. I Will Go isn't about telling you what to do. It's about helping you follow through with what God has already placed on your heart. Every spiritual influencer needs support to be successful, and the church wants to provide that.
Ooh, I like the idea of getting support. So how does it work?
I Will Go is made up of 10 objectives that are divided into 3 areas of impact: mission, spiritual growth, and leadership. Each objective has its own key performance indicators, or KPIs for short. KPIs are measurable ways to help you determine whether or not you are achieving your current objective. There's no sign-up needed. They're there for you as you need them. Think of them like segments in a progress bar.
Progress tracking sounds great, but what if I don't even know where to start?
Don't worry. The KPIs also serve as a sort of brainstorming tool with examples to help you get started. Some KPIs are intended for those in church leadership roles. Others are intended for individuals like you and me. And the objectives can help you determine which KPIs to use. The great thing is, if the Holy Spirit inspires you to create something completely new that isn't on the list, yet accomplishes the mission, go for it.
What about church initiatives we've already been doing? Does this mean that we'll replace them?
Nope. Initiatives like digital evangelism or revival and reformation are actually methods of fulfilling the I Will Go plan. Take, for example, the TMI initiative.
It's where all members of the Adventist Church are involved in some form of intentional mission.
Yes, sir. TMI is just one way to fulfill the I Will Go plan because it seeks to involve everyone.
So basically, the I Will Go strategy helps Adventists like me create brand new initiatives and improve the initiatives that we already do.
You got it. I Will Go is not some feel-good slogan for lukewarm members to comfortably observe mission from afar. If we're serious about completing the mission, we need to strategize. That's why we're urging all who bear the Adventist name to understand and embrace the I Will Go strategic plan, from the areas of impact down to the KPIs. We may talk the talk, but the I Will Go plan translates our mission into tangible, realistic goals in order to walk the walk. By applying them, we can ensure we practice what we preach.
I think I get it now. This is a rallying cry for Adventists everywhere to fully embrace the calling God has placed on them. Jesus commanded, "Therefore go and make disciples of all nations." And this is our opportunity to say, "I will go."
Whenever the Holy Spirit inspires you with ideas for how you and your local church can make an impact,
we challenge you to respond,
I will go.
Watch this and other mission stories online by visiting AdventistMission.org. Then click on videos at the top.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history.
This week, we hear the story of pioneer missionaries who spent most of their lives in Africa.
This week in Seventh-day Adventist History, we look at a forgotten story of commitment to spreading the third angel's message. On January 25 in 1937, Ira John Hankins passed away in Paradise, California. Born in the American state of Ohio in 1854, he was converted, felt a call to ministry, and from 1876 to 78 attended Battle Creek College. There he met Clara Tracy, a native of Ohio who was 5 years younger than he. They married and ministered together in the U.S. Midwest for 9 years. A daughter, Ida, was born in 1886. In January 1888, Ira, Clara, and Ida, with Clara's widowed mother Lucy, left the United States to serve as missionaries in South Africa. Ira later told a friend that he had supposed it was forever that they were leaving America. Ira was just the third Seventh-day Adventist minister to work in Africa. 18 months later, a son, Harry, was born. Tragically, Clara contracted tuberculosis in 1890. In 1893, she passed away. Her mother, Lucy, took over the role of homemaker and mother to Ida and Harry, remaining with the family until 1901, when she and the children accompanied Ira, who went as a delegate to the famous 1901 General Conference session. At that session, he was elected to the presidency of the Indiana Conference. But after serving just 2 years, in 1903, after an urgent call from the Southern African Union, Ira returned to that field as president of the Cape Conference. There, Ira, of course a widower, remarried to Eva Miller, née Perkins, who had been recently widowed. Ira became founding editor of the new Southern Africa church paper, The Sentinel, a role he filled for 20 years with Eva as assistant editor. In 1923, age 69, they finally returned permanently to the United States. Ira had gone to Africa 35 years before and had only been back to his homeland twice. In fact, Ira told a friend that America had become almost a foreign land and that Africa ever lay close to his heart. But he and Eva spent 8 years in retirement in California before his death at the age of 82. As a colleague wrote, Elder Hankins had brought the truth to many. At the second coming, his sheaves will be harvested from many lands. And that's a wonderful thought on which to end this week in Adventist history.
Thanks for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Did you know the Adventist Church has a YouTube channel where you can watch ANN Video, ANN In Depth, and plenty of other amazing videos on prophecy, health, and Bible study?
Just go to YouTube and search for the Adventist Church. Click the subscribe button to make sure you're caught up each week.
And remember, leave a comment or a prayer request. We have people who are praying for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Before we say goodbye, here's some good news from the book of Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 3.
The passage says, "Therefore tell the people, this is what the Lord Almighty says. Return to me, declares the Lord Almighty, and I will return to you, says the Lord Almighty."
That's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit adventist.news for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.